Welcome back to the best show on the internet, In the Loop.
We just recorded the entire episode and Charles forgot to press record. So.
Not the whole episode,
Yay.
I'd say the first 5 minutes of the episode.
The entire episode. Anyway, so I'm not going to go with the same movies as before. Let's go into it. We're doing The Five Bloods this week.
On Netflix, Spike Lee film.
On Netflix, by Spike Lee. It's about I'm going to do the plot intro again, though.
Okay.
So basically, it's set in after the Vietnam War.
It's set in the modern day.
But it's about their how we people were affected by the Vietnam War, basically in the past, and sort of what happened during it. And basically, their friend from then, Norman, played by Chadwick Boseman. Yes, he was the leader, Captain Leader legend. He died, but there was also a lot of gold that was hidden. That they buried, so they're going back to find his body, basically, so he can be laid to rest officially, right? Because he's not done that happened yet, and he was a soldier, so they get the whole
military funeral
thing,
yeah.
which happens at the end. That happens at the end, right?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, I guess, but for the guy that's obviously dead. But and they're also going to look for the gold, so they can get some money off of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, as a whole, we both agree this is a good movie, right?
Yeah, I think it's very good.
Very good movie. Spike Lee. Good job on this one. I do think it's a bit long. It is a bit long. Like at some point, it gets.
I think at the start, especially before they go into the jungle, it kind of
the jungle. There's some parts where it's just kind of like I understand a lot of it. A lot of it was good, but some of it's also like, does this really need to be in? You could have shortened some of these scenes at least.
Yeah.
Like there's some elements which don't matter that much. Which is like for example, one of the characters is like a Trump supporter and he has a MAGA hat, which it does come into play like. At one point, I guess, but it's kind of like not really important. Didn't really need to have that in.
Yeah,
it's kind of like thrown in. But no, as a whole, good movie, good characters. It's all done pretty well. A lot of the I do because a lot of movies do kind of glorify the whole war thing, and it's like, oh look, it's heroic, but it's just like it's not though, is it? Like a lot of these people are just dying, especially with the Vietnam War, because everyone acknowledges that it was bad, right? At this point,
yeah,
it was bad. It wasn't a good thing. No one really liked it. Of course, America didn't win as well, which is why it's also looked upon really badly.
They like to claim they won, but they did not.
Does anyone even believe that? I don't even think they believe that. But no. Basically, the whole war just caused damage from both sides.
Yeah.
Or a lot of people, as it's shown in the movie as well. Like people from Vietnam, a lot of people there, still not over it because a lot of innocent people die. Like there's footage of some of the things, and it's just
they committed a lot of atrocities.
A lot of war atrocities in this war. That was really America didn't really have to get involved at all as well.
No, they didn't.
It's not like
it was a fight against communism, is what it was.
Exactly. So it's kind of like stuck in the middle. It's like Vietnam was just there, and it's just like two people are fighting in their country basically because they don't want Vietnam to do this certain thing, or they don't want Vietnam to do this certain thing. So it's just all these innocent people dying. Things out of their control, really. It's a really sad scenario. But I do think they obviously showed the Muhammad Ali clip about Vietnam, which obviously is famous now, where he was enlisted, but he didn't go. He went to prison for it. And it's really controversial at the time, but now pretty much everyone agrees that he was doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Everyone's agreed that the war was bad.
For not going to fight in a war that he didn't believe in.
That he didn't believe in. That was kind of pointless, and where they were just killing lots of innocent people. And where they didn't win anyway. So what was it all for?
Yeah.
But yeah, it says people lost family members. This is I know it's easy to look at these numbers and you're like, oh, they're numbers. You kind of get detached at points. But it's they do a good job in the movie showing no, this affected people. This affected real people. Family members were dying. It's not just a number. I know people look at it like that sometimes, but it just kind of still impact people because it wasn't even that long ago.
No, it was in the 60s, wasn't it?
Exactly. So it's people would still be alive from now. Of course, also it being in the 60s is really relevant at some points because they mention that black people are fighting in this war, but when they go back to USA, they're still not getting equal rights. They're still getting treated badly. They're still not it's just kind of why are they fighting? They're fighting for this country that doesn't treat them or respect them well. It's just kind of what's the point?
Which is a theme throughout the whole of the film.
Yeah, exactly. Muhammad Ali, of course, has the Muhammad Ali point as well, which is what have the Vietnamese people done to me compared to what Americans have done to black people, for example.
Yeah.
It's just kind of nothing. It's and also they mentioned that black people were enlisted at a higher rate. I don't remember.
Yeah, so the radio kind of propaganda said that the US population at the time was made up of 11% black people, but then in the forces fighting in Vietnam,
like
it was
30%.
34% of
Yeah.
of the forces were black.
Yeah,
So
which is crazy.
Yeah,
I wonder if that was intentional. Clearly not, right? Anyway, yeah, no,
Yeah.
I do think they showed like the good job showing like the propagandists from both sides though, because like they like at the time the Vietnam War. I mean, it wasn't like people didn't like it, but it was like kind of like a controversial thing at least. Whereas now it's like pretty much universally like a bad thing.
yeah.
But again, Muhammad Ali was hated by people for this. A lot of people hated him because of this, like because of what he did. And again, now everyone's like, "Oh yeah, well obviously it was the right thing to do." Just kind of shows like how things change, I guess.
I think it's very much something the media controlled narrative where people would just accept what the government and the media said at the time, and then the Vietnam War kind of there was reporting done on the atrocities and things which showed the government were lying, which brought in more scrutiny of the government on military matters at the time.
Yeah, they could never do that in the modern day, right? Definitely not in our lifetimes. They would never do that.
They would never do a war for no reason and go to a country and,
that's far away.
completely destabilize any regions or anything.
Yeah, they'd never do that. Not our trustworthy government. But it's worth mentioning that there were a lot of anti-Vietnam like protesters at the time. Like there were a lot of people that were against it. It wasn't like everyone loves it. Like a lot of people were for it, but a lot of people were against it. So it's not like it's actually I'm not just going to get too political on this, but like it's kind of the opposite to like the modern Middle East war, which obviously Vietnam's not in the Middle East, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of like
the Iraq
people
war.
were really in support of that. Like,
No,
I mean, in America,
in
America, people were really in support of those wars, and then it kind of changed like now. But here, people never wanted it.
No, it was the protest against the Vietnam War was the largest ever protest in central London, with over 1 million people protesting against it.
Wasn't that the Iraq War? Wasn't that one bigger?
Yeah, the Iraq War.
Yeah.
Did I say Iraq?
You said Vietnam first, but there were Vietnam protests as well.
Yes.
But
the largest ever backbench rebellion in the House of Commons history as well when voting for the war, if anyone cares about that.
But the one time the UK government didn't just do whatever USA wanted was Vietnam, so they made one time they made a good decision there. Just like, hey, maybe we shouldn't get involved.
Yeah.
But
should we talk about the film?
I like how we were really off topic there. But listen, the film's about that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
spoilers for the film now, I guess. One thing I really liked in this film was kind of the cinematography. There we go.
I agree. I liked it.
I quite liked that when they did the flashbacks, they obviously changed the
aspect ratio.
The aspect ratio and the camera quality to show how it would be at the time, I think. I'm not entirely sure if it's...
More how it would be at the time.
Yeah.
But not entirely.
And
it wouldn't have been black and white, right? I think it would have been, right?
No, I'm pretty sure there was colour then.
Didn't they show the Martin Luther King one, and then his one was in black and white there?
I think it depends.
No, you're right. No,
yeah.
You're right. My bad.
I also really liked that they used the modern day cast in the flashbacks and didn't... I thought that could have been more explored, like during the fighting, if they'd showed more of the fighting, like where you have young American soldiers and there's like an older one, to kind of show the discrepancy of like, oh, you don't know who's going to survive here because the young... Did you not know?
No, I don't disagree, but I think like, listen, they all look good. They still look young and stuff like that when they're doing the young things. It looks good. I do think there's like, I mean, you kind of had to know who was going to survive unless it was like flashbacks at the very start and then you flash to like the middle. Like you would have known he's going to survive.
Yeah.
But there are some things in here that, like the guy who's like clearly broken over the wall. Like let's say
Paul, yeah. So the guy who's got PTSD, yeah.
Yeah, he's clearly got PTSD. He's clearly got issues, but he won't. This is a lot of thing with like soldiers in general. He won't get help for it. He will not. He can't get over it. Like what happened, because a lot of horrific things happen during these times, and they're just seeing this. It's just kind of like,
and then obviously we find out that the main kind of cause of that is that he killed, Chadwick Boseman's character Norman,
by accident. But it was an accident, obviously. Someone had followed them into their ship, right, to try and fire at them.
Yeah,
and he fired at them, but he also hit.
Yeah, he kind of did a spin, I guess, and then just shot
like
indiscriminately.
Like a Call of Duty thing that you do, where you just like fire without looking.
Yeah,
but it's a good moment because it does show why he's the most affected as well, because he killed his friend by accident, obviously.
Yeah, and someone he truly looked up to and was inspired by,
and it changed him forever. I do actually like the the hallucination scene. Obviously, it's a spoiler.
When he's
where
get
he
bitten
sees
by the snake. Yeah.
exactly, and he sees him in the hallucination. He sees like, you're forgiven. It was an accident. Like, it's not your fault. I do actually like that moment.
Yeah.
I don't like, spoiler, the will bit, because I always don't like in movies where like a character is clearly one way, and then in the will, which is obviously when before they die, they're completely different. Like,
To his son David, it's kind of like it kind of goes. There's a stage where at the start, when we're first introduced to his son, it's kind of like he hates his son, and then he's more accepting of his son, and he says he loves his son, and then it's back to hating his son again before he dies, and it's like, you know.
I don't think he ever hated it. I think he always loved his son, but he kind of like didn't get on with him well. But the ending is like, listen, I understand he did love his son, it's mentioned before, but you can't just have him like rewrite the character in the very end, in my opinion. Obviously, he was broken over the war. He's like a sympathetic guy, but he's still not a good guy.
No, he's not.
He's not. Like, he's still. I do like that because they have like they're all flawed characters as well. Mostly, they're not.
Yeah.
Like,
did you think any of them were gonna survive this trip to get the gold, or you just thought that they're gonna?
I thought they were all gonna survive until remember the landmine thing.
Yeah.
It's mentioned. I was like, someone's clearly gonna die because of a landmine. Like, I thought that was clearly gonna come back. There was no way they're just gonna introduce that, and then she goes away. So I thought someone was gonna get hit by a landmine. Didn't know who. That scene was crazy as well. Like, you could tell it was coming.
When Eddie gets blown up, because he's
I
just
didn't know
like,
if you could tell it was coming, but I could tell it was coming.
I thought,
and then like,
I wasn't sure he was gonna get blown up by a landmine because I kind of forgotten about that whole interaction.
I don't know how you forgot about that, but I remembered that because I was like, they're gonna bring that back. There was no way they're gonna just mention that she was for a landmine thing, and it was never gonna come back, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I guess it could have just been a generic thing, but when it's something so specific as that, and it's like, I don't know. But when that happened, I was like, oh wow, they're actually like.
It's pretty graphic as well.
It was very graphic. I think it was like, I don't know how they did the effects, but it actually looked good. It looked good. So shout out to that.
Do
you think it looked good?
Yeah, I mean, it was just a graphic scene of an exploded
man.
What
I mean by say good though. I think it looks like not ridiculous or anything. Like, it looks decent. Yeah. So that kind of changed things because at that point, I really just thought they were just gonna like. I thought landmines were gonna happen. They're gonna be an issue, but I thought it was gonna be like inner conflict with them. And about like who gets the gold and stuff like that. I did not think. I thought like maybe one of them would kill one of the other ones. I didn't think it would go where it went though. With the whole
one of them, the Otis is the only one that survives.
No, because
and obviously David survives. Sorry.
Yeah, David survives as well. But I do think. No, I think it was good because listen, you have to admit. I do think that was the irony of them like surviving Vietnam and then they come back all these years later when there's not a war and then they die.
Yeah.
I do think that was like clearly done. But I guess it's to show like. Again, they mentioned that the war never really ended. Like, it doesn't end because you're still going to be thinking about it forever. Like, you can't get some of these things out of their mind, I would guess, especially the PTSD. So it's just kind of stuff like that. It's just like, I guess like a showing of that, but like without it being just said again. It's just kind of like they died because the war still isn't over, like stuff like that. Yeah. I do think you could mention that maybe the guy in the suit. So wait, what was that whole thing like? It would turn out to like a setup. So
the French guy who was supposed to take the gold and set them up private bank accounts and stuff.
Yeah, so what was that?
So
I was kind of confused with
what was basically
he wanted to take all the gold, right?
Yeah, he just wanted to take it all for himself and give them nothing. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, I'm not sure what you got confused by.
No, I was confused because so he was with those other like Vietnamese guys. They were working for him the whole time. So I honestly didn't connect.
I guess,
until they were there. Yeah, because I didn't connect that at all until they were there. I was like, oh, I guess that happened. There wasn't really hinted at, but you could guess like say he's the personification of like the only people who actually benefited from the Vietnam War was like people like him who didn't have to do anything. They were just sort of like making money off of it or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like the people that weren't affected by it in the end are people like him. He's just kind of like he's in a suit while everyone else is poor still, and he's the only one he's by the end he's trying to get richer and ignore these other people, and just kind of like. I don't know, symbolic of something. You can think of whatever, like politicians in general, maybe just kind of like.
He wasn't a politician though, was he? He was just a rich dude.
I know what you mean, but it's like rich people in general, just kind of like getting what they want, not putting in effort, taking from them, whatever, a bunch of stuff like that. Which I guess makes because they did all go like greedy when the gold was empty, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean,
But exactly, but he doesn't need the gold, does he? Because he's already rich. They at least need it.
I thought that was a bit cliche. It's like, oh, a group of people finds treasure. Oh, they're going to become
That's
evil
true.
and greedy now. And I'm like,
Well,
oh,
to be fair, most of them didn't really become greedy. They just didn't want to give it to charity, right? They wanted to keep it for themselves, and
Yeah.
one of them was like, "Give it to charity." And then one of them got, with the
yeah,
the guy
anyone
with
who's like,
PTSD.
oh no,
the rest
let's,
of them were just,
let's
rest of them were
give
just
it
going to
away.
keep the gold. So it wasn't even that like other like, oh, we're fighting over the gold. Who's going to steal? It wasn't even like that really. So
Yeah,
I don't know, but no, good movie. I think.
yeah,
Lots of things to unpack, which I'm not going to go into all of them because there's a lot of things. There's
yeah.
a lot of things in this movie, though.
I'm not sure if I liked the whole kind of landmines the group subplot to it.
I guess it's to show. I thought it was to show like that the war is still impacting like their lives, like people's lives. There, it doesn't like it's over now, but it still impacts like things in the area, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like
it's
sure it's over, but it's like it doesn't mean the impacts are all gone. That's why I don't. I
Yeah.
thought it's like kind of like.
I
that.
think it could have
thought-
been handled a bit better because it was just like, oh, just it felt very cliche at times and
It did feel a bit
very
cliche, yeah.
very forced at times, just to further on the plot rather than actually serving a purpose to the story. At least that's what I thought. Like when they meet in the bar and it's like, oh, they're flirting and stuff. And it's like, okay,
I thought
great.
that was okay.
What's gonna?
I think it's to show like I don't know that they're still friends after all these years or whatever. I don't. That wasn't that necessary.
Yeah, it was just
To be honest.
yeah. And then the guy the guy from the landmine bit, Larry. I'm looking at the cast, by the way. That's why
That was kind of dumb. Yeah, they didn't need all those landmine people. I understand why they were there, but
who got blown up, and it was just kind of like, okay,
Yeah,
he kind of seemed like, you know, dick anyway. So
really. I mean, yeah. Okay, in the bar he was. In the bar he was just being annoying.
yeah, so it's like there was no when I watched that scene and he died, it was just kind of like there was no emotion. It's like, oh, all right, whatever. There's no connection to this character at all. I mean, really, and the other guy who survived, Simon, again, he could have died in it. I just would have been like, there's nothing here.
Yeah.
These characters don't have any substance,
I'm pretty
really.
sure they were only put in so they could have another characters with her because it would have been weird if she's by herself. And
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
heavy.
that's literally it.
Yeah, it was
And
just
she's alright.
she's all right. Like
Yeah.
it just kind of
Is there any reason why she was French? Like, why did they? Was that meant?
no.
Was that?
It was just put in there.
Weird. It's kind of weird that like she's I don't know that she's French and she's there, but everyone else is like from like the other guys are from somewhere else.
No, they're French. They have
Are they French? I thought the other guy didn't have a French accent.
accents when it suits the plot. That's...
Yeah, I was gonna say one of them did not sound like a French accent to me. I thought it sounded like German or something.
No, they were both French.
Alright, my bad.
So,
My
I mean,
bad.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, if I'm wrong, you can shout at us in the comments, I guess. But I'm pretty sure they were both supposed to be French. And it's just kind of like,
Fair enough. Well, but the third guy was he French too?
which guy? The guy who got...
the one survived.
Oh, yeah, he definitely was. He had a French accent at
I
points.
honestly forgot about that. My bad. But
They were very much irrelevant characters in the film. At least the tour guide, Vin, kind of had some
no, he was
character
a cool guy.
to
No,
him.
I liked him. I liked him.
And then they've just got like these three random French people, and it's just kind of like, what is the point of any of you, apart from to establish that there are landmines in Vietnam?
Well, one of them was like a love interest for David, right?
But it wasn't even good or compelling. Like,
It was done to be like so later on when she was being like tied up, it's like, oh, will he save her because he's in love with her? But you know, that kind of thing.
but it didn't feel earned in any way when that
I mean,
scene
he wasn't in love
happened.
with her. Well, no, that happened because his dad was insane, so he didn't want to trust his dad. I'm pretty sure it wasn't because they were like in love. You know what I mean? It
Yeah,
happened because he didn't want to kill people. So I think that's a fair reason. You know?
fair reason. Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's a fair reason.
I don't want to kill people. Well, you got it.
Especially innocent people. What have they done to you? They did nothing, man. They just
They
got their
saw
heads
that they
so-
had the gold. They could have told people.
Okay.
Which the guy who got blown up, Larry. He's called Larry. What is that even mentioned in the film?
Yeah, some of the naming is weird. I didn't remember all the names. It doesn't mean the characters are bad.
Yeah, I'm cheating. I'm looking at. I've got a list.
Yeah, fair enough.
I've got the cast list up. That's why I know. But it's
I know.
like, it's just that whole. I didn't like that whole aspect of it. It was just like, okay, if you're gonna do this, you know, you could have had Vin like be say, "Oh, be careful. There's a lot of unsighted landmines in this
I'm
forest."
pretty sure he
or
did
some,
say.
yeah, just a
I'm pretty sure
throwaway
he did
line
say
like that.
though. I swear they mentioned. Well, they have the whole landmine thing, which implies that there's landmines there, though. I think you're wrong on that.
I don't know if
The
we
person-
needed that sub kind of plot added to it.
The landmine subplot.
No, them, the group. You can have the landmine
but-
stuff in it, but you don't
But they're
need
the whole
them.
point to show that there's going to be landmines, right?
Well, you can just have their tour guide just say it, and then
But
it's
the tour guide also said
established.
though, that they shouldn't go to the jungle by themselves because it's dangerous. And stuff.
Yeah, but he could have said there's a lot of landmines. That could have just been it, rather than this kind
True.
of whole. Because I don't
But
think they served a purpose to the story at any point. They just felt very tacked on. I mean, you can
Maybe.
disagree with me, but
Nah. No, the other two definitely.
like, what did they do?
No, the other
Apart from the guy who got blown up, what did
Nah.
they do?
he doesn't do anything. But the other one's alright. The girl, she's alright.
I guess, yeah,
But the other characters the main characters are better, obviously.
yeah.
Listen, the focus is on them and the tour guide, and they're all good in my opinion. So I'm fine with it. I don't
Yeah.
mind it.
Did you like that Otis had a daughter in Vietnam that he never knew about?
That was a weird subplot too. Where I'm just kind of like, this is the kind of things that they could have maybe cut. And I don't even think the idea is bad. I think the idea is okay. But it's just kind of like it happened, and then at the very end they get money, right? Because it's mentioned that the daughter gets lots of racial abuse for being black, right? Because she's in Vietnam and stuff like that. And I guess that's kind of mentioned, which is, listen, I'm sure this probably did happen in some like cases or something, but it's kind of like, I don't know. I don't think they could have done it a bit better than him just going there, seeing his daughter once, and being like, "Hey, by the way, this is your daughter, and she's got like racial abuse because of you. Okay, bye," and that's it. It's kind of like, and I know it comes back at the very end because they get sent money, right? But it's kind of like, I don't know. I feel like maybe you could have cut that or done it better and cut something else. I don't know.
Yeah. I
It's
think
kind of a weird thing.
I don't know if it was like like you said, like a commentary, like, oh, this happened, and it's
The thing is, when you take into account how many people there, it must have happened like once.
yeah,
So I'm not sure if it was that common, but I honestly do not know. I would be lying if I don't know. I knew. So, but there definitely are people that from like the war that had children with Vietnamese people, obviously. So
yeah. There you go.
so from that aspect, I mean, it's not even that bad. It's just so weird that he threw that in randomly.
Yeah. Did you like how they also did the old soldiers can still fight thing, and then like totally like
The
wrecked
thing is,
that?
though, they have guns. Like they're trained to use guns, so I'm fine with it. You would still. I think like you'd still remember that
Yeah.
if you were in a war for that. I feel like you'd still be able to fire a gun. I'm not that worried. I'm not that upset about that. Listen, I'm more upset that
And
the
they had
old
the-
random old guy could shoot well. Like, what's he for and anything?
Who?
He's from France too.
Oh,
the,
yeah.
the old suit
Yeah.
guy, bro. Why's he firing a gun?
I don't know.
He's French as well. He's not very American, so he can't even use the like whole. Well, he just probably owns guns. Like,
Yeah. Could he shoot that well? Did he?
he killed someone, didn't he? He shot one of the guys, and he was about to like murder.
Yeah, he was going to kill
He got
Otis.
shot in the back.
Yeah, but then he got shot in the head by David, who had never
David.
fired a gun before.
Yeah.
Whilst he had
Which
been
is-
shot through the leg and was like being held up so
And
he could
listen,
shoot.
It was a symbolic thing about the dad and the father and the son. You know what I mean? I still think the movie is good. Look at
yeah.
a lot.
I
I still
mean-
think this is a good movie.
You got to have points to talk about. You can't just say
I know,
a film's
I know.
good.
Listen, there are definitely. It's not like the best movie ever. There are flaws, but it's still. I really liked it still.
Yeah.
There you go. Anyway,
Anything else? You want to say anything else about it?
yeah. It's got a really high score on Rotten Tomatoes, and the audience does not like it as much, which
It's
is
got a
normally the opposite.
6.8 on IMDb, if anyone
Has
cares.
a-
But we're not
I-
trusting IMDb reviews anymore.
Yeah, I'm not trusting Rotten Tomatoes either.
It's
so.
got 93 on Rotten Tomatoes. And
Yeah, but
60
the audience score
yeah,
is 60.
60.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Say, that's kind of harsh. I think that's harsh. I think it's I don't know. I got 60.
I wonder if it's just people, because of what's happening currently, being like, we don't need more
Yeah.
propaganda, maybe.
Or whatever. It could be. I think people would be like, why do you have to bring race into everything?
Yeah.
Like, that kind of people. Just kind of like, okay. But you can also criticize this movie as a movie. Again, we said it is too long, so I'm
Yeah.
not going to say all of it's invalid. I'm sure there are people that valid reasons to not like it. So.
Yeah, I'd probably give this like a 7 or 8, you know? It's
I'll
not...
give it an 8. I'll give it an 8. But I wouldn't watch it again because it's too long. That's the thing. It's like, there's some movies that are 7 that I would watch more than once just because they're like fun. This is like an 8 that I will not watch again probably.
Yeah.
Because there's like maybe there's like some scenes that I might watch like a clip of because those are good. But like
Yeah.
the whole movie is kind of long.
What
It's too long.
what scenes did you like then?
I told you the hallucination scene.
Yeah. So
I really like.
on that, I mean, obviously he gets shot and killed, which
yeah, I like
mean,
that scene as well. I like that scene as well.
yeah, from a tactical point of view from those guys, kind of seems like stupid because it's like he knows where they are and you're just gonna kill him.
What do you mean?
Because the
I'm
the
confused.
Vietnamese gang led by the French guy, they kill him obviously, right?
Yeah.
And they don't know where the gold is, so it's like
Yeah, but he wasn't okay. But listen, he wasn't going to lead them there anyway.
No.
He didn't know where it was. He didn't know where it was either, right?
well, no, he knew they were going to the temple because that's what they
Oh,
said they
yeah,
were going
yeah,
to do. So
But listen, he wasn't going to tell. He wasn't going to tell.
No,
them anyway.
but
So it's fine. But clearly they stopped because he was clearly going insane. Like, and he
yeah,
was not
because he
gonna-
was
so
bitten by
I'm not-
a snake, which
If they would have shot him immediately, then fine. But they didn't. So
yeah,
it's not.
I thought he was going to just die from a snake bite or something, and that was going
I
to be it.
thought he was going to die like in the jungle. Yeah.
Because it was a couple of scenes before where he's talking directly into camera, like how he's in control of his life and he will decide when he dies. And then a
I thought
few
that was a
minutes
quite good
later,
scene too.
yeah,
I think it went on for a bit too long though. But I think the whole sentiment of it is good. Where he's like, he spent all his time in Vietnam. He's not going to die now. That kind of thing.
and then he's just walking through some bushes and he gets killed by a snake. Essentially,
Yeah,
It's like,
Mother Nature, you know.
yeah, can't
happens.
control it,
Exactly.
which kind of, it shows, like you said earlier, that like you can survive this horrific war. Like he went on 3 tours of Vietnam,
And then just die. Exactly.
and then just die.
And die
That's
something
it.
else.
Kind of
Exactly.
shows the futility of life, I guess.
Exactly. It shows like, I don't know, you're not as in control as you think, basically.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of it's down to just luck. If you didn't, a lot of people that died in Vietnam were not, I'm sure, bad soldiers. It just happened. Like, it's not your fault, or it's not.
Yeah,
down
you
to
could be
a
the
lot of
best
time.
soldier ever, and then your plane gets shot down, and that's it.
Exactly. Yeah. Kind of crazy, man. War bad. Controversial take here.
Yeah,
War is bad.
hot take. We're gonna get comments that war is bad because we said
Yeah.
war is bad.
Sure. But yeah, good movie.
Yeah.
Let's Vietnam War bad.
Vietnam War bad.
That should be the title. With a bunch of exclamation points.
Vietnam War bad. The Five
Yeah.
Bloods. Episode. What is this? 12, 13?
I don't even know.
It's one of
Oh,
those
wait,
two.
If it's 12, we gotta do 13 Reasons Why for 13.
Damn it.
You know, we could have done an Artemis Fowl for this.
Oh God. Yeah.
9%
No.
Rotten Tomato.
I read the
9.
books. They were alright.
I read one of them and it was alright, and I didn't read the others.
And then I saw the trailer for this and thought, what is this abomination?
I can't believe you actually saw the trailer for it. But I just heard it was bad and I was like, that's cool, I'm not checking it out. So.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for it months ago. Like, I didn't just go and, like, because I was reading film news, and it's like, oh, Artemis Fowl, that's a book I liked as a kid. I wonder if this will be any
There's
good.
now come on, bro. There's no way you thought that's gonna be good.
Well, it's on Disney
You-
Plus. I mean, most of the stuff on Disney Originals has been good so far, so, you know.
Alright, man. Good. Alright, are you gonna? Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, getting off topic again. The episode. Anyway, we both like this movie. Next week, 13 Reasons Why. Thanks for watching.
Or something else.
13 Reasons Why.
Or something else. Bye.